channel. Today I will be giving you guys my predictions for UFC Fight Night Brazil. Oliveira versus Gamrot taking place this weekend, starting with the early prelims and working our way down to the main card. Pretty interesting card. It was kind of difficult making picks here. Okay, so say if the Perth card was like a 2 out of 10 on like the confidence of my predictions, and then UFC 320 was like a 7 out of 10. This is like a 4 out of 10. I think this is closer to like having difficult picks to being like absolutely certain that these fights are gonna go down the way I think it is. But nevertheless, let's get right into this here, man. Starting with the early prelim fight of Simon Oliveira versus Luan Lacerda. If you guys watched my Noche video, you'll know I kind of shout on Simon Oliveira for being Martinez's one finish win. I think it's his only win actually in the UFC so far. So for those reasons, I think it'd be kind of silly to just all of a sudden be like, oh no, I actually think he's gonna win this fight. I'm gonna go with Luan Lacerda on this fight. I think that Lacerda holds the advantage in the physicality, in his strength, and the overall durability. And I think Oliveira's tendency to overextend and rush forward could leave him open to counters or potential knockdown. I just kind of see like Lacerda being able to piece this guy up on the feet, hold him back, and Oliveira not really be able to find ways to counter that. Lacerda's had a bit of a layoff, so I think that really shows that he's he's kind of locking in, he's figuring some stuff out, and he's just trying to become the best fighter as he can. Meanwhile, Oliveira's he's going in there, he's losing fights, he's just trying to bounce right back, but I don't think that's really what he needs. So I'm gonna go with Lacerda on this fight here. Up next, I should always just open these up a little bit more every single time I do it. But up next is Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Julia Palostri. This sucks for Karolina, bro. Like she fought for a title once. She fought Joanna for the title at one point. And now she's on a bit of a decline. At least with her first losing streak, she was actually losing some pretty decent fighters. But now, who the fuck is she losing to these days? It was Aisman Lucindo and Denise Gomez. I can't back you when you have those kind of losses now. And now you're going against Julia Palostri. I'm going to pick Julia Palostri to win this. I think, Palostri possesses solid grappling skills. She's way younger, and she has a good physical presence, allowing her to control exchanges and inflict greater damage. I think obviously Karolina remains technically sound and experienced on the feet, but she's appearing past her prime and is less effective than in earlier years. So I'm gonna pick Julia Palostri for those reasons. Up next is Lucas Rocha versus Stuart Nicole. Dude, look at the fucking size of this guy. I couldn't believe this when I saw this Lucas Rocha. This guy's 5'3" and has a 64-inch reach. That's insane. That is crazy, dude. I'm gonna pick Stuart Nicole to win this fight. I think Rocha lacks a good grappling defense, and I think Nicole's patience and control should lead to takedowns. I think, when you're coming off that first fight and it's a loss, I think you're going to be able to refine yourselves a little bit. Hopefully, I think that's what we're going to see out of Stuart Nicole. He's going to try to refine himself. He's going to be more patient, and he's going to try to control a bit more and try to get the takedowns, and he'll have back control when he's on the ground. And then hopefully, I think he'll also have effective ground strikes that will be able to win him the fights. I'll say 30-27, honestly. I think, I think 30-27. The betting odds are near even on this. That's a surprise to me. I think Nicole will win this. Not for certain, obviously. Fine. I'll say 29-28. Stuart Nicole will win this fight. Up next, got a real barnstormer here. Irina Alexieva versus Beatriz Mesquita. Who the fuck are these people, bro? I have no memory of Irina Alexieva. She's 19th in Topology's rankings for UFC bantamweights, or women's bantamweights. Who the fuck has she been? Dude, I swear to God, I watched this card. This is the Hill Roundtree card. I've watched this card. I don't have a lick of memory of this woman, dude. She beat Stephanie Egger, which, I'm sure used to mean something. Oh, right at the end of her run, too. Jesus Christ. And then Beatriz, who is just someone who's been just beating some LFA jobbers, really. Is this for the title? I was for the title. She won the title. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Beatriz Mosquito on this one. Obviously a 650 favorite. She has a huge odds advantage, I guess. But I'll say Beatriz Mosquito, 30-27 decision, and it's just gonna be a bunch of out grappling by Mosquito. She won't be able to get Russian Ronda. I just saw her nickname. She's Russian Ronda. Let me tell you something. You've had 8 fights. She's had like fucking 14. You already have more losses than her, buddy. You ain't no fucking Ronda Rousey. You don't even have striking. Whatever. I'm moving on. Up next, Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Pedersen. Dude, Thomas Pedersen is awesome, man. I fucking love this guy. That being said, though, I'm going to go Vitor Petrino to win this fight. Pedersen is a pretty strong wrestler, especially for the heavyweight division, but I think he's very limited in his striking. Petrino brings explosive power, he has solid calf kicks, he has capable grappling, and has a very clear speed advantage over Thomas Pedersen. So I'm still expecting this to be a competitive bout, but I just think Petrino's sharper striking and athleticism should edge out a close decision over Pedersen. So that's what I'm going to say here. I'm going to go Petrino to win this fight by decision. Up next, we're still on the prelims. Jafel Filio versus Clayton Carpenter. I'm gonna go with Filio to win this one. I think Filio will start strong, but as the fight progresses, momentum will shift towards Carpenter. He will become increasingly more active as the fight progresses. And Carpenter himself, he showcases solid grappling. He has a strong scrambling ability. He has good cardio. He's tough, and he has serviceable striking. But I just think that Filio is more likely to come closer to securing a finish. I think he's gonna be inflicting more damage, and he's gonna be generating more submission threats throughout the bout if this ever does go to the ground. So it's a close fight. It's gonna be very, very close. I do think it'll be interesting to see, but I do think Filio will be able to edge this one out purely based off the damage he's able to get over Clayton Carpenter. Carpenter may be able to control a little bit. Definitely, he'll look better on the ground game for sure. But I just think if it's on the feet, it'll be close. But I just think Philly will get more damage on the feet if it ever does go there. And I just think if they do grappling, Carpenter will have the control. But I think Philly will be able to threaten with more submissions. So I'm gonna go with Filio on this one. Moving on. Wait, this is still the prelim fight. I thought there was fucking 6. There's only 5 fights on the main card. It's because we lost fucking Muhammad Usman versus Walter Walker, bro. That actually makes me so sad, bro. I can't believe Usman pulled out of that, man. Just tears my heart. Anyway, though, next fight is Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell. 2 fucking absolute NPCs, if you ask me, man. Who the fuck? This is a fight I didn't even really look at their records too heavily, man. Who the fuck is Timmy Kawamba? Andre Philly? Pat Sabatini? Who the fuck? This guy's just a can crusher, man. Michael Aswell, not even ranked in fucking Tapology. 0-1, lost to Balaji. Okay, that's not terrible. That's not a terrible loss. And also lost in the Contender Series by split decision. Alright, well, with that being said, I'm gonna lean towards Lucas Almeida to win this fight. It's going to be super competitive. I think it will be really competitive here, but I think Almeida will carry... I think he carries greater finishing power, but shows vulnerabilities, with his chin. I think he sticks his chin out a little bit too much for my liking. Aswell does maintain a high output and has strong defensive awareness. He's constantly... in his fight with Oki, right? He did maintain a high up... he absorbed little damage despite his activity, so he's pretty active, but he's also... He can absorb quite a bit of damage. Still, I think Almeida holds the clear power advantage and remains the more dangerous striker throughout. So I will say 29-28 Almeida again via damage. I think this also stays on the feet. I don't think this goes down at all. Up next, Ricardo Ramos versus Con Olfley. This is tough, man. This is a really tough... I'm just looking at my notes. I'm already I don't know if I'm still super confident with this pick. Because the way this fight is going to work, it's that whoever, loses this fight, this is going to be the worst loss of their career. Because Con Olfley, he's 0-3 in the UFC. Like, neither of these guys have actually had like terrible losses. He's 0-2. Mario Santos, Muhammad Naimov are not that bad of losses. Still going 0-2 in your start sucks. Ricardo Ramos is on a fucking horrible streak right now, dude. It's actually kind of sad to see. Like, but again, losing to Shepe Mariscal, who's one of my like most highly anticipated prospects, like Julian Rosa, Charles Jourdain, that Zubaira Tukugov is a pretty bad loss. But Lerone Murphy, like, these aren't terrible. I actually think he has the better losses than Con Olfley does. So, it's just the pressure that Con could apply for the fight. Maybe just Ramos is just. Fuck, man. No, you know what? No, I'm gonna stick with my original pick. I'm going Ricardo Ramos to win this fight. I think Ramos should find success with the jab. I think he'll establish a front kick that'll do a lot, and maybe he'll mix in like the occasional spinning elbow. I could see that right now, like Con Olfley going in for it, and then, you know, Ramos tries to go for a spinning elbow. And I think he's also capable of mixing his grappling when needed. Olfley, again, likes to start aggressively. But I just think, which that does scare me, right? That really does scare me. But I think Ramos's composure and technical control should allow him to take over as the fight progresses. So I do think we'll get a strong start from Con Olfley. Genghis is a crazy nickname, by the way. I didn't even know that guy's name was Genghis. That is a crazy ass nickname, especially for a resident. What, Turkey? That's Turkey? A Turkish fighter? Damn, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ricardo Ramos to win this fight. I think this is the bounce back, the comeback. I can't believe. I guess this does deserve main card status. Yeah, sure, whatever. Up next, though, Jonata Denise versus Mario Pinto. This is super interesting, man. This is like the clash of like the next, like supposedly the next generation of heavyweights. See, it's interesting that Denise is the slight favorite. Both guys fought Austin Lane, and Denise arguably looked like the worst of the two because Lane was able to take him to that second round. But still, I'm gonna go with Mario Pinto to win this fight. I'm gonna say Pinto fights with composure. He's going to be showing a strong defense and a solid fight IQ compared to Denise, who is primarily a kickboxer and does have good takedown defense and durability. I just think he can struggle when he's forced into extended grappling exchanges, and I think Pinto will be able to kind of jump on that. I think he's gonna mix in the leg kicks pretty early, and then he's gonna be timing the level change to secure takedowns and then control the pace throughout the entire fight, just having him pushed up against the fence. Obviously, it's heavyweight, so either guy could just throw a fucking right hook and knock the other guy out. But I'm gonna bet on Mario Pinto to win this fight. I do kind of rate Mario Pinto. I'm still curious, right? He still hasn't hit a ceiling, The other guys like Taliesin Teixeira, Jonata Diniz, they've lost fights in the UFC now, right? So Mario Pinto is one of the last hopes, is like finding a new big heavyweight who's not named Ante Delija. So I'm gonna go with Mario Pinto to win this fight. Up next, holy fuck, man. Why are they doing this? Why? Vincente Luque versus Joel Alvarez. Dude, what the fuck? What? Luque, why would you accept this fight? Why? I'm getting choked up just looking at this fucking matchup because I'm like, why the fuck are you doing this, man? Yeah, Alvarez wins my first round finish, dude. Like, you know what? The age difference isn't as much as I thought it would be. I'm actually kind of surprised how old Joel Alvarez is. I forget that he is 32 years old, but still, man, I think Luque, like, if you watch the Kevin Holland fight again, dude, this guy's getting, like, fucking destroyed with every single, like, hit Holland gets off on him, man. He's getting dropped constantly. And I just think Luque's going to struggle to overpower or even out-grapple Alvarez. And I can just see Alvarez catching Luque on a takedown attempt or systematically breaking him down against the cage. I don't see this going well for Luque. I don't see, like, an avenue for which this guy can, like, capitalize on Alvarez and try to eke out a win here. I think Alvarez has him beat on the feet and on the ground. So look at that size difference too. 4 inches of height advantage. Fuck, yo. I'm scared. I'm scared for Luke. I hope Luke wins. I really do hope Luke wins, but I don't have confidence in that, man. Up next, though, is our co-main event. Davison Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. This is interesting. I said in the reactions to UFC 320 that I think the winner of this faces... Who did I say? Was it O'Malley? I think I did. So that does kind of make me want to see Montel Jackson win this fight, because I do think that would be a more interesting matchup. But, dude. Okay, so Figueiredo, he moved over to bantamweight. He looked promising for a bit, but then he dropped to Petr Yan, and then looked really bad against Corey Sandhagen, and then he tore his ACL, I believe. So, and then Montel Jackson, who is he beating? He's on a pretty good winning streak right now, dude. He has lost some fights, but Daniel Marcos is a good win. Damon Blackshear was a really good win for him. Jesse Strader, JP Baez, that's kind of tough. But he's beating pretty much everyone I think he's supposed to beat. Brett Johns in fucking 2020 is crazy. That's a crazy loss to have, low key. Because this guy, is he still in Bellator? Oh, he's in the PFL. What the fuck is this promotion? Was that his last? Holy shit, it was. Yeah, dude. That's such a telling loss to a guy like Brett Johns in 2020. Still though, this is a really impressive run he's gone on so far. Again, I do think a win over Daniel Marcos is a pretty good win. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Montel Jackson to win this fight. I think Figueiredo will try to hunt the takedowns. He will try to take down Jackson a lot because, he's got a 5-inch height advantage and a fucking, holy shit, dude, is that a 7.5-inch reach advantage? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think so. Figueiredo will hunt the takedowns and try to out-grapple, but I think his size advantage, as you can read there, will be a problem for Figueiredo. I think Jackson's fight IQ stands out quite a bit. Someone else pointed this out. It's not an original thought, but I do think he is the kind of fighter that knows the kind of performance he does have to put on in order to win, whether it be a very quick knockout or if he's going to go the distance in a decision win. So I do rate that about Montel Jackson. I do think he has a very high fight IQ. I think he'll land the jabs and the right hooks, and I think he'll be able to shut down the takedowns on the fence, being clinched up and then just trying to push off Figueiredo. I think he'll have wrist control really well against the cage. And I think he's going to be able to use his range to control the fight. I think, he'll take advantage of Figueiredo trying to do, range striking. Figueiredo's going to have to move in here. And I think Jackson will be able to take control of that. He will be in control of this fight. Figueiredo will only be able to get takedown attempts off of him, and that'll be his best way of controlling him. And maybe he does take him down against the cage, but I don't really see him be able to do anything with that. I don't at all see, if it's a double leg takedown, I don't see Figueiredo being able to take, top position over Montel Jackson. I think Jackson will do a pretty decent job of getting him out of that. I think just off of pure strength, though, I think he'll be able to do that. But, Figueiredo, he's 37. He's maybe still got a chance, dude. I think he might still have a chance here, maybe. I think you could make an argument. I just don't know what it would be, though. It would just be it would just be that Montel Jackson's takedown defense and grappling skills aren't there, but they clearly are. So I'm going to have to go with Montel Jackson to win this fight, and hopefully he does fight Sean O'Malley after this win. If not, Figueiredo can fight Sean O'Malley, and that would be a very interesting matchup to see who is more washed in the bantamweights. Up next, though, main event, Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Oh wait, no, sorry. He announced he's doing PR for the Predator movie, so it's gonna be called the Predator. Not even Predator, Predator. Charles the Predator Oliveira versus Martiz Gamer Gamrot. Listen, man. Listen to me. For all the people that are picking Gamrot to win this fight, y'all are fucking wrong. We have been down this path before. We have done this song and dance. When he fought Dariush, people were like, when Oliveira fought Dariush, people were like, oh, this might be it for Oliveira. He looked terrible against Islam. He looked so bad at his wrestling. He was just totally out-wrestled, out-grappled. And now he's going to face another grappler. He's going to lose, man. what does Charles Oliveira do? He gets the first round fucking TKO, boys. And that's exactly what he's gonna do here, man. Charles Oliveira all the way. Okay, maybe he won't get the first round knockout, because Gamrot does have... He doesn't have, like... I don't know how to describe it, because he gets knocked down a lot in his fights. Like, for a guy that has never... But he's just never been knocked out, right? For a guy that's never been knocked out, to be dropped by guys like, you know, Rafael Dos Anjos, Jalen Turner, Arman Sarukian... Rafael Dos Anjos is crazy. In 2024, that's crazy. That just shows me you don't even, like... You don't really have a chin, you know? And I just think, if you're gonna fight someone like Charles Oliveira, you kinda have to have a chin. Because this guy, even if he does get knocked down too, he's gonna come back... He's gonna find you at range. He's gonna hit you with the 1-2 combo, and he's gonna fucking knock you out. However, though, for Gamrot, I do think he will. Obviously, he will. Obviously, he will try to go shoot for more takedowns. The thing is, though, I still think Oliveira is a superior grappler, and I think, you know, Oliveira's the kind of fighter that can threaten submissions off his back. I don't think you're ever truly safe in a Charles Oliveira fight. So I think for Gamrot, you know, as a guy who is chinny, he will risk a bad takedown, and is vulnerable to guillotines, and will probably get out grappled in this fight. I don't see how Oliveira loses, except for just, you know, himself being the reason, you know. If Oliveira loses, it'll be because of Charles Oliveira. You know, I don't see it. I just don't see it, though. I don't see it happening. Oliveira is still, you know, he's 30, he's 35. He hasn't even shown that much wear and tear. He's just lost to, like, some of the best lightweights of all time. Like, because who else has he lost? He's lost to Sarukian by split decision, and then he lost to Ilya, and then Islam. That's it, dude. Like, those are three guys that are, like, in their primes right now. And I just think even Gamrot, right? You know, someone who's 34, he's 8-3 in the UFC. I just think he's, you know, I think his time's past him. And you can even look to something like the Sarukian fight and be like, you know, oh, maybe he does have a chance on the feet. No, dude. No. Still, that was fucking 3 years ago, too. Yeah, man, I just think, like, even if you, like, and if you look at the Hooker fight, too, the Dan Hooker fight, you know, he's a guy that can spam takedowns but still not look impressive with them. I just don't think, you know, Gamrot, as good of a wrestler as he is, he doesn't pass the eye test in some of his fights. He doesn't look like he's really doing enough to actually, like, secure himself a win sometimes. And I think if you're gonna fight someone like Charles Oliveira, who does pass that eye test, or, you know, can go fucking up and down a lot, like, you need to have enough of a strong grappling game. I just think that Charles Oliveira is gonna be able to defend that kind of, like, weaker grappling ability. You know, at least with, like, the Fiziev fight, there was a chance that he could absolutely... I think there was a greater chance, because Fiziev was a better striker than Gamrot, to absolutely fucking catch Oliveira and chin him and then fucking just hammer fist him into oblivion, like against Ilya Topuria. But I just don't... With Gamrot now, who is a weaker striker, I don't think he's as strong of a grappler as Oliveira. I think he's going to get a bit... He's going to get incomplacent? What's the fucking... You know, he's going to take too many risks. I think he's going to make himself vulnerable to the grappling and even the striking of Charles Oliveira. So I'm picking Charles Oliveira to win this fight. Overall, this is an interesting card. I'm pretty confident Charles Oliveira wins this overall. Like, the ones I'm really confident in, right? I always do this. I think my locks for the night, right? If you're making parlay, these are the ones I would put on it. I would put Charles Oliveira to win this. I would add Joel Alvarez to beat Vicente Luque. Oh, God, Vince, why'd you take it, man? I would put... Who else? I would put Vitrino to win his fight over Thomas Pedersen pretty heavily. I just think Pedersen's a bit of a blob, and I don't think he's going to be able to, like, withstand that. And I'd also put Juliet Palastri, and then I'd also put Luan Lacerda. Those are my 5 locks for the evening. Other than that, though, everything else could go the other way, I think, but still fairly confident. It's, you know, like I said, 4 out of 10 in confidence of this show. But let me know what you guys think of my predictions. Let me know what your guys' predictions are in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you want to see more from this channel. Here's a playlist of all my other past UFC reactions and predictions. Here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll like, and then of course you can subscribe right here. But that's gonna do it for me, man. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.